Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Trying to get this video done quickly because some storms are moving into the area. It's pretty windy out here right now. I hope the wind noise isn't too terrible. Usually this spot is low enough, you know, down here by the creek that it kind of helps block it, but we do have some storms. Doesn't look like anything severe, but just some high winds and some heavy rains, but nothing too severe that'll be moving in shortly. A lot of things going on. And before I start naming off some of the stuff that just today that's kind of hit the news wire, I want to make it clear. I think a lot of times, maybe it's this way everywhere in every country. I don't know. I mean, I don't live in another country, so I don't know. But I know for certain, a lot of times Americans, they have this kind of narrow view, tunnel vision kind of thing when it comes to global matters. And what I'm speaking of is things like the deep state and the New World Order and, you know, that kind of stuff. We kind of think that it's only going on here in the United States, right? So the various things that happen here in the U.S., that's all there is that's going on. And we don't realize a lot of times it's happening everywhere. Like there's stuff going on all over the world in every country. And you know, we could say, well, you know, Donald Trump got elected, so it's all good now. You know, the New World Order's ended, even though he and Elon Musk and everything has said things like that they're going to have a new world order, you know, the new golden age and that. But anyways, you know, the deep state's defeated because Donald Trump's been elected. Well, folks, it's going on everywhere, okay? It's not just here in the United States. And while the U.S. definitely is the big boy, at least for now, and has a lot of pull everywhere, it's still happening. And this stuff going on between Russia and Ukraine and just Europe and Russia and the United States and Russia is building. And I've said that even if Donald Trump is here to defeat the deep state and not part of it, they're not going down without a fight, okay? So obviously, Biden has authorized long-range missile systems to be used against Russia. And now Germany said that they're sending 4,000 AI drones over to Ukraine for them to use. And today, two major underwater cables have been cut in the North Sea area up in Northern Europe. One of them is a data cable between Lithuania and Sweden, and another one, a fiber optic cable between Germany and Finland, have been cut. Now, there's not been a confirmation yet as to what happened, but I'd say it's pretty safe to say this was purposefully done. And whether or not it was Russia doing it or, you know, deep state side do it to cause NATO to get involved with Russia, who knows? But the fact is that it's happening. Germany, Finland, Sweden, and other parts of Europe have all said just recently in the last few days to notify their military and their people to make preparations for war. That they are going to war and to make preparations for it. Finland was telling their own citizens that you need to start stocking up, you need to prepare. Just a couple of weeks ago, Germany was saying the same thing. So there is a major increase in kind of that war footing, moving towards war. And I think a lot of people feel that this is possibly going to really get kicked off before the presidential inauguration here in the United States. Not because it's the only thing that matters, but it is a significant event even on a global stage. So that means that's a short amount of time, folks. If the deep state, if the globalists, if NATO wants to get involved into a heated war with Russia, and they don't care about, you know, not doing it, then their best option is to get involved in a very deep war before Donald Trump gets elected. And so that's probably what we're seeing happen. We're speculating, but things are becoming pretty obvious. Also, northern Israel has taken several heavy strikes from Lebanon, even though it's been announced that Lebanon and Hezbollah is willing to have some ceasefire negotiation talks with what the United States has proposed. But there are still some stuff going on between those countries. All of this is quite significant. And definitely not a time for you folks, you prepared-minded people, to sit back and relax because, you know, someone different is going to be in the White House. Things could happen very dramatically and change things dramatically before he even gets to the White House. And while it's possible that once he gets there, he may try to fix things, we have to be prepared for the damage that's done between now and then. And then it may not get fixed. The damage may be too far gone at that point. Who knows? And we have to be prepared for that. I've said it many times on here before. I feel it's quite clear that NATO, the West, wants a war with Russia. They want a war with the East. And they've done everything they can to get one going. And it's not even whether you like Russia or Vladimir Putin or not. I honestly think they've been quite patient with this. And I think that NATO's probably frustrated. Why all these things we've done and it still hasn't caused them to cross the line. But that time may be coming to an end. It's quite possible because they're trying to poke the bear literally. Another thing on a different note, I made I talked this morning about this declaration of emergency that Donald Trump has said that he will declare once he gets into office to remove a bunch of the illegals. And I had a couple people comment and say, well, there's lots of national emergencies that are currently declared. And that's true. There's currently 42 active national emergencies on the book. And so it doesn't immediately equate to martial law. You have to understand that this is a big national emergency. Sometimes a lot of these national emergencies on the books are just for certain specific things or certain specific areas, so they don't affect everyone, all of government. But this one would be. This would be at least on the same level as the national emergency declared by COVID, which was declared under Trump. You know, Operation Warp Speed, vaccination, rapid, development of the vaccine and all that kind of stuff. I would guess that it would be at least on that level, but probably greater. And it's not a national emergency developing a vaccine to spread around, regardless of your opinions of that. That's not the point for the sake of this argument. This is a national emergency to build up a military and police force to be used to remove illegals, which I'm not against necessarily. But remember that the deep state and the bureaucracy in the United States is very large. And so do you really trust government, not just Donald Trump, not just cabinet level secretaries and department heads of the government, but all the way down to the local level, to the more regional levels of the federal government? Do you trust all of those people with that level of authority? The amount of increase in government employees, the increase in the use of possibly military, National Guard, to do this kind of stuff. All I'm saying is while it's not 100% a bad deal, it's certainly not an amazing deal, because we're between a rock and a hard place. What do? I've been saying this now for the last few years of all these illegals pouring in. If you don't take care of the problem before it happens, once it happens, it's going to be a very, very difficult problem to fix. Not just the act of removing them, but the amount of government that's going to have to grow, the authority of government that's going to have to grow to remove all of them. Think of the Patriot Act after 9/11. In the immediate aftermath of that, most Americans said, oh yeah, we need to do this. We've got all these terrorists and stuff. But the Patriot Act still exists. And how many times has the Patriot Act been used against American citizens since then? Several times. It's been used to surveil and spy on American citizens a lot. And so this is a dangerous area. This is a slippery slope to create and grow government to the size to handle this absolutely epidemic of a problem. Because I don't trust government. I don't care who's running it. I don't trust government. And for them to get to that size, to be able to remove 20 million people in a fairly short amount of time from this country, It's going to take a massive upheaval of government and really society, and it could be a real rough road ahead. All of this and more, we need to be ready. There was another human case of H5N1 over in California today. They're claiming, I'm not saying that I necessarily believe all this data, but they are claiming that the wastewater is spiking, like with numbers of H5N1 virus in the wastewater. So there's a lot of things happening right now, and far too many people have kind of rolled over and gone back to sleep, and it should not be any of you. You should be actively pushing yourself to prepare, get your house in order, train, develop skills. I put out a video over on Locals today. I haven't got it uploaded to Patreon, but I'll do it also there, talking about medical, the Prepper Medical Responder, which is kind of a series I do over there. And we're talking about shock. No, not the kind of shock you get from jumping into cold water, but actually where the body starts shutting down and how to medically deal with it. That's the kind of stuff that you're going to have to deal with when the system starts to break apart and you don't have emergency services, you don't have a hospital to go to because things are just kind of in chaos, and you need to learn how to handle it on your own. Folks, it's time to get your houses in order and prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.